Hello guys, so I'm JC and I'm here to be able to share with you what could be the best news of the day. And you can mark my words. We've been spending a significant amount of money every year to try to understand better how programmatic out-of-home budget gets spent, by whom, where, and whether that's going to carry on, whether that's going to even increase in terms of trends. So I think we're all very interested with that, because this is a pretty important thing for many of us. And what we wanted obviously to really assess this time is how does that work with the multi-channel campaigns? And obviously meaning the themes here is omni-video, so I think we are absolutely spot on. So first, meaning the topic is, we've been talking every year to something like 1,000, this year actually it was 1,200 marketers from media agencies, from brands, and trying to really understand a bit more how they were behaving with the programmatic out-of-home growing segment. And what was quite important is that 64% of the advertisers in the US were actually planning to integrate programmatic out-of-home into their multi-channel campaign. So that's actually almost 2 out of 3 who are actually planning to do that. So it's really getting traction. And what we obviously got in terms of a key takeaway from the previous years was that not just programmatic out-of-home was good from a branding standpoint to build awareness, but it was also very good to be able to really respond to performance campaign objectives. And that's important too, because that means that now out-of-home, these big screens in the heart of the city centers are not just used to build brand awareness, but they also can be used to actually drive response. And what we wanted to be able to do then was to really understand how the addition of programmatic out-of-home would help digital campaigns that were running without digital out-of-home before, and therefore a bit of a before and after, to really be able to measure that. And you can definitely understand, since we are an SSP on out-of-home only, we could not have the first part of the logic, which was how these brands and how these campaigns were actually doing without programmatic out-of-home. And for that, we were fortunate enough to team up with VIOOH on a very long journey to be able to present some of the showcase to you today. So we could not have done it by ourselves. And the point was to really understand how that's going to be driving attention, whether they're going to be boosting engagement towards offline or online, and whether it's going to really be more efficient from a campaign execution standpoint and result standpoint. So, first thing, that was a campaign that ran in APAC, right? APAC and Hong Kong. And what we wanted for John Lang LaSalle, who is a big real estate player, we really wanted to see whether their objective to boost brand awareness and product consideration and driving obviously online traffic to their website was better with out-of-home or not. And what we've actually understood is that you've got meaning a few channels there that were really working well with programmatic out-of-home, and depending on the market, obviously here meaning the numbers are indexed so that we can have them on the same graph, but you can really see that the video plus programmatic out-of-home was actually driving excellent results in some geos, while with native in some geos. But what was really interesting is that the combination of these multi-channel approach, including programmatic out-of-home, creates this upside. We also had, and that's not meaning the new one, but we also had a very good kind of showcase in Singapore with Schroeder. And here we are talking about being able to see how mobile plus programmatic out-of-home was actually able to really help create an additional kind of impact from a retargeting standpoint. What we've seen here for this kind of campaign, which was meant obviously to raise the brand awareness for sustainable investment products, is that programmatic out-of-home plus mobile retargeting created an increase by 80% in terms of click-through rate, which was a very significant impact. And that was really plus 80% versus what the mobile campaign only was actually driving. So you can see meaning it was a very clear kind of approach. And here we're talking about the same creative, the same kind of campaign, but just done in 2 bursts. Something very interesting, and here that was in the UK, for Aptamel. Aptamel, I'm to see they were launching a new product, which is the pre-measured tabs. And I don't know for the men in the room who had, just like me, to wake up between 2 and 5 a.m. to prepare, obviously, the bottle feeder for the kids, and you never quite get away with the count, right? You have the first spoon, second spoon, third spoon, and you know that if you are missing it up, meaning that's going to be a nightmare during few days. So here, meaning the point is we have a new product, which was a Danone Aptamel with some pre-tabs thing. And what we wanted was absolutely to check that. What they did is that they ran a campaign which was online with several kind of format. It was video, native, and display. And what we've seen is that on the second burst they did with programmatic out of home, they were able to get a 15% increase in terms of sales. So all this for us was very, very important, and we were very happy, obviously, to see that. That is not just going to help to create a greater awareness about the product, but it's also going to be driving meaningful impact from a sales increase point of view. And the last one was one big campaign, and Tourism of Tasmania, so that's obviously in Australia, have been with us for 4 years in a row, and we really, really enjoy that. What they did that time was to really be able to drive off-season a lot of people from Australia to come and visit them. And the point, again, for them was to really to see how they would have been able, obviously, to drive programmatic out of home within their media mix. And here, what we've seen is that the first burst was video display, audio, native, and mobile, so real rich in terms of omni-channel approach. And the second burst was with programmatic out of home on top of the rest. And as a matter of fact, we had an increase of 51% in increase in terms of visits, with 31% lift was definitely just attributable to the programmatic out-of-home part. So all these are numbers, right? But in a time when we are all witnessing a massive shift from a media standpoint, everybody is wondering where the linear money investments are going to get, where they're going to land. Everybody's fighting for that. And I'm going to tell you something. I don't personally believe that that amount of money that was spent on linear TV before is going to be landing on connected TV, simply because you don't have the breadth and the depth in terms of scale. You can obviously hyper-target, but you cannot get the volume of audience you want. And we do believe that brands will still have a need to be able to promote themselves and to be in the city centers on bigger-than-life screens. And I would potentially say today that I absolutely believe that out-of-home is the last broadcast media that advertisers can actually leverage at scale. And that's a great news. But it's not just that. It's also media that can fit into a multi-channel campaign and deliver not just online, but in-store results, meaningful ones. So with that, I think that we all need to really team up, because if we do not fight for the money, for the dollars who were going to linear TV before and are trying a bit to find a new home, we're going to be missing out. All of us.